Words have meaning, and those words cannot be disassociated from the context of what is being said without destroying the intent of the author. I was waiting for Hideko to finish something last night, and I was watching the YouTube, and there was a guy talking about the structure and the the nuances of various languages. And he was talking about how some languages, specifically the talk was feminine and masculine within a language. And so the Hebrew has that. Every single thing, this is either feminine or masculine. A car is feminine, okay? You've got, everything is identified. And that's just how the language works. It doesn't mean that the car is a girl, but it's a way that you identify things. Spanish does that. Okay, I would say that most languages do it. And believe it or not, English used to do that way back, as was his conclusion or one of his statements in there, and he explained it. And there are remnants of that in English to this day. We call a ship a he or a she, and we've got other things that we identify a car sometimes as a female, okay, whatever. But we've got these things that are left over in from that type of thinking in our language. But we also have things like articles, a and the, etc. And there was a time apparently when there was no indefinite article in English. And I was thinking about that today while I was walking around, and I'm thinking, how does that work? Because I can't think of English without an indefinite article. I can't even imagine it. I'm trying to think, how can they have communicated that and understood what is being said without an indefinite article? Okay? The definite article is there. We know that it's speaking, that is the chair that I want you to take. It's not a chair where they could just go grab any chair. And how do you get around those things? Okay, that's the point that this introduction that I'm giving you is, we have languages and they have meaning. They have structure. And when you are given something, you must maintain the context or you have violated what is being said. Words have meaning, and those words cannot be disassociated from the context of what is being said without destroying the intent of the author. Paul's words in this verse and in the verses to come are precise. They're not just precise, they are exactingly precise. They are intended to cut through heresies, which were already being introduced concerning Christ Jesus at that early date. And we know that's correct because he wrote these words. He wouldn't have just said this arbitrarily, because he would have sat with the people at Colossae and he would have said, Jesus is God and blah, 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 blah. And they would have said, okay, I got that. And all of a sudden somebody comes in and he takes the words and he introduces something that gets them confused. And so they write him a letter and they say, Paul, you said this, but this guy seems to say that it's, and so he says, I'm going to write you about the nature of Jesus Christ. Okay, this is just speculation. I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm just saying this is what something prompted Paul to write these words that was already wrong, is the point. Okay, so they were intended to cut through heresies which were already being introduced concerning Christ Jesus at that early date. In order for those at Colossae and all believers in all ages since then to understand proper Christological doctrine, Christological means Christ, Christ-centered doctrine, he now writes these words about Jesus Christ. As I said, 115 to about 120, he's going to be very, very precise in what he is saying. Okay?